Hi all, this is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, with our guest today. You remember Arjun, and of course Professor Spike, who's going to be along in a short while. So till he comes, we'll just chit-chat a little bit about football, being that Arjun is a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm jealous because I'm a Jet fan.
Inverse 6-0, 0-6.
Yeah. So do you think Ben can take them all the way to the Super Bowl?
I'm a little worried. I mean, the AFC is strong. Like, we got the Chiefs, who I still think should be the favorites no matter what. Ravens, we'll see this week if we can handle them. And then I guess there's a few others lurking, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we're one of the three best teams in the league. But we'll see. We'll see.
In the division, certainly.
Yeah, division is, I think we're fine, but
yeah, the division looks like you're going to run away with that. So you'll be in the Super Bowl. I mean, you'll be in the playoffs. And
yeah,
they'd really have to collapse not to be.
Yeah, playoffs are fine, but the Chiefs, I'm not picking anyone but the Chiefs till I see something different.
Well, the Chiefs are a dominant team.
Yeah.
All right, so who do we have here so far? Jiggly, who enjoyed our retirement special. That's going to be the first of many. As we said the other day on investing for retirement, Professor Spike is an expert and an authority on putting together portfolios for retirement, both in the planning stage and in the retirement stage, both. And we just introduced the topic in a 15-minute video, and Jiggly got all excited. He liked it. And apparently thinks that Spike is another, what's her name? Osmond? I forgot her name. What was that woman who did the retirement planning on TV all the time? I forgot her name. Jiggly, what's the name of that woman who did all the retirement planning? You know her. Yeah, Man is here. Clarence is here. Catherine is here. Tim is here. But Jiggly is lamenting his Buffalo Bills. They don't stink. They actually have a pretty good team. Compared to the Jets, they look great. Although the Jets actually gave them a game. They did struggle with the Jets.
They did, more than they needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. And Linda's here. And Greg. Hey, Greg, how you doing? You running today, or jogging, or walking, or Susie Osmond? That's who I was trying to think of. Jiggly says you're another Susie Orman. Susie Orman, the retirement planning specialist on television. Jiggly absolutely loved the show, by the way, and wants more of them.
I saw that.
And also Sounds by Romilly and a bunch of other people sent me little thank yous for that show. So apparently you were a big hit. People didn't know you were such a smart guy until yesterday.
I'm trying to keep that hidden.
It was a hidden secret how smart you are.
Well, you can't give them everything all at once.
No.
You have to.
Greg says he just finished his little jog in the park, ready for sage advice. We don't give advice. We don't give investment advice. We give football advice.
We don't give sages. Isn't that a spice?
And Cabinet Guy is here from the Green Mountain States.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we have Cabinet Guy from Vermont and his brother from Tennessee. We're well covered today. And Catherine from Texas. And Linda from, I forget where. Linda, where are you from again? I keep forgetting. And Lynn is here.
Yeah, got the whole gang.
Lynn is here. Yeah, Lynn, did you catch? Did you catch our?
4:30.
Lynn, did you catch our retirement show? Lynn, are you still in NWBO?
Oh boy,
We're going to talk about NWBO today.
we do. I mean,
We're
there's
going to talk about CVM, NWBO. What a roller coaster that one is.
right.
athx,
That was crazy.
CTXR, another entry in the odds race.
Okay.
VBIV, the vaccine, little vaccine maker.
Yeah.
Amazon, you heard of them?
No.
Like the river,
They're being
Okay.
like the river.
They
And
sell water.
another small company called Walmart we're going to talk about.
That would be worth talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Talk about the S&P, where it's going, and the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. Our friend is Arjun from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big Steelers fan and a big fan of the vaccine maker VBIV. And he's going to chat a little bit about that today.
Yes, indeed.
He's not a one-trick pony.
No, he knows about it. He too is not letting on how much he knows.
Gotta keep it tucked away until we're ready.
Right. Linda from Minnesota. That's right. Minneapolis.
So it's Linda Soda.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Trump has been talking about J&J. I guess they're ready to go, and Pfizer looks like they're ready.
Yeah. Well, when they did that the debate, the debate moderator said specifically who's making vaccines, and so he mentioned Moderna, he mentioned Johnson & Johnson, he mentioned of course he mentioned the guys that he believes safe.
He mentioned Moderna, didn't he?
He did mention the Moderna. Not that it made the spike the stock move at all.
I think, in fact, the order that he mentioned was J&J, Pfizer, and Moderna.
Right, exactly. The big money they were throwing that way.
Yeah.
So one would have thought that those three stocks would have made some decent moves after he spoke, but I guess we're getting a preview to how much power he'll have within the next 6 months.
Yeah. I think with this coronavirus hype going on and markets are reacting to it, it's extremely bad timing for Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, most of his voters are sick, so they can't get up and vote now.
Yeah.
For the betting odds.
Children says no. Forget Novavax. The Robin Hood gang is wrong.
It got halved after being doubled or tripled.
Yeah, I think it ran.
I think everybody's crying.
You know what? Our buddy Jake, he caught it on a dip from 165 to 95 and back to 165 all in the same day. So he caught that little run.
Well, at least some of us are lucky.
I caught it from 95 to 120. That was my only exposure to Novavax.
Linda's curious about AEMD.
After they're coming out with earnings after at 4:30
today. Oh, that's right. All right. Well, we'll see.
It's worth giving it a look.
It is. I mean, the way things have been working in the market, especially for these companies, is that everything gets baked in before the announcement, and then after the announcement.
I don't expect any big announcement for AEMD today. He's not saving it for the earnings report. Companies never save the big news for the earnings report. They break it before earnings. Then they talk about it.
Good earnings would be good news.
Well, good earnings is always good news.
For this company's been very speculative.
Yeah, well, everything's down today, and nobody expects much out of earnings.
Right.
So,
yeah, I would say that it's not the time for AMD just yet.
No, not just yet. I think if he says something like we're making good progress in the COVID trial, that we dosed more than 50% of the patients, then you'll see action in the stock.
Right.
Jiggly's asking if we're offering investment advice today. You want to take that
We
one?
never offer investment advice.
Jiggly,
We offer entertainment.
as always, do your own due diligence. Our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with your investment advisor before acting. That may be your wife, your dog. We have ways of gauging this. If it's your dog, one bark means yes, two means no. If it's your wife, one bark means yes and two means no. So it's the same algorithm.
Same algorithm. Wives tend to have a slight bit more nuance.
Lynn is giving Jake absolutely correct credit. He saw that drop coming.
That's true. That was a good call on Jake's part.
Jake had it right.
Yeah. Right, I agree. Sorry. I'm waiting. I bailed a little bit around 13, and I might pick some back up around 11. So I could feel
I'm holding. I already got loaded a long time ago, half my shares. I'm holding on to the rest through data. You want to talk about how a portfolio should be diversified in retirement for our next segment?
Yeah, I was having that conversation just recently. The value of alternative investments, especially on in an environment where there's no return otherwise.
You're gonna, when we do the retirement planning segments, you can't just talk about clean water. You got to the first. More than just clean water.
Fair enough. But when we talk about
we're laughing, but clean water has had a tremendous run. AWK is double. In the last year, it's probably double.
And PHO. A lot of people have been happy with our call on PHO.
Yeah.
So,
and you were talking about that a long time ago. Clean water.
Yeah, well, it's that and liquor.
People were laughing at you with the clean water. Double your money is nothing to laugh at.
Right.
All right. And it was like a turtle going up a little bit more, a little bit more. I think AWK is like 150.
Really? I got off of AWK and just stayed with the mix on
PHO?
W.
I think PHO you're in.
PHO is a good one.
I know what you're in better than you know what you're in.
That's true.
And now, if you don't get
my shoulder as I was typing that stuff in.
If we don't get to the charts, then we're not going to be able to.
I fell at 4:30, so yeah.
We're not going to be able to finish. So let's get to the charts.
Let's do it.
Glasses on.
I'll go quickly because there's not much really to say other than
whatever we're seeing this week is not necessarily reflective of what we're going to be seeing going forward. So you really start with the S&P, which is what you're doing.
Yep.
Just to see what the big tents in the circus, the big poles in the circus tent look like.
Marty S said 3280 is his line in the sand on the S&P.
And then what?
You know where it stopped today? 3280.
But what does that mean? Your line in the sand? You just got angry?
In other words, he's going to bail below 3280.
Okay.
But to me, 3280 looked like a good buying opportunity.
Dr. J, when you get a chance, you should really get rid of Confucius' comment because it's covering up the chart.
Oh, it is? All right.
Yeah, so just switch over to my view and get rid of that if you don't mind.
Oh.
It's up to.
Jiggly likes co-diagnostics.
I know Kodak and
cabinet guy likes AVLR.
APT is going to be announcing soon, so that will be worth it.
And like APT is up one of the few stocks.
Because they are going to announce very, very soon.
And they'll probably announce blowout earnings again.
I'm gonna guess that.
Okay.
Reflecting the stock price at some point. So this
Yeah.
is the S&P, and you're right. The S&P is telling us something. What is it telling us, Dr. J?
The S&P stops in the middle of this green candle, right where I like it to stop. So what I wanted to do was buy some SPXL and just hold it into tomorrow, figuring to get a bounce back. But I decided to suppress my gambling instinct. So I did not do it. But that was my instinct was to go long at 32.80, and then with very little to lose, because if it went down much more than that, I just would have bailed. So I think there's more to gain on the upside on a swing than there is a continued downtrend. I see 3,200 holding.
Uh-huh.
This was an ideal spot to stop, however, 32.80. Of course, the chart is bearish because we have, if you look at the chart, we have a high here on the 2nd of September and a lower high right here on the 12th of October.
Yeah.
And it's basically a double top, more than a lower high. So we have a double top in the S&P, which I've never liked. Don't like double tops. And in terms of a high or low, I want to see that happen. So I don't want to see this 32.09 taken out. I want it to turn around, and I want it to turn around now, not tomorrow, not the day after, but now.
Right.
Well, you got 11 minutes. You got 11 minutes.
All right, stop turning.
Well, it seems to me.
It doesn't appear to be listening.
Yeah. No, I know. You're in it's a volatile little area.
Yeah.
It did pass that was at the 50.
Yeah, it did 100.
We were the 100. We were hoping it would bounce off of that.
This is 100 right here on
Yeah, that's the one. We
Dow.
hoped it would bounce off of that a couple of weeks
And
ago.
the Dow chart looks eerily the same as the S&P. Eerily.
Now, the Nasdaq, which you used to use as a sort of a real portender of drasticness. Remember when things were hopeless in March, you still saw some hope in the Qs.
Yeah, you want me to look at the Qs? Is that what you're saying?
Only because if everything looks hopeless, then we know where we stand.
All right, I'll give it a look in a minute. Amazon.com is just as good as looking at the Qs. Aren't they one and the same?
It's untouchable.
All right,
Might as well.
Amazon and the Qs basically one and the same.
All right,
In
fair.
the midst of all this going down, in the midst of all this sell-off, Amazon remains strong. Even on a day like today, it's down. I don't care if it's down.
All right, well,
This looks great. Yeah, this looks
It's
perfect.
still holding trend.
for those of you out there looking for hope, there's your hope.
Let me tell you about Amazon. When in doubt, buy Amazon. There's never a wrong time to buy Amazon. So therefore, you don't need the chart.
Okay.
But the chart just reinforces when might be even the better time to buy.
Exactly. That one hasn't even touched this 100 yet.
Nope, and it's like I said, it's forming a new uptrend in anticipation of earnings. When is earnings? Tomorrow?
For
I
Amazon,
think it's Thursday. Oh yeah, Thursday is tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So earnings tomorrow. This thing will be up 200 tomorrow. What is it down? 101 today. It'll be up 200 tomorrow and blow out earnings. They pushed Amazon Prime into Q4. Tell me, why do you think they pushed Amazon Prime Day into Q4?
Good question.
Normally it's in September.
Do you think Do you think they were holding out for the stimulus payments or something? I don't know.
There must be some kind of a reason. I just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. During the fall, Amazon was being treated very well by everybody sitting in their house shopping.
Q4 is gonna be like an unbelievable blowout quarter with Amazon Prime Day pushed into the fourth quarter. Now, will it kill the third quarter? No, I don't think so. I think they were strong enough in Q3 that they wanted more fodder for Q4. This stock is going to 4,000. That's the end of the discussion. 4,000. Maybe not tomorrow, but it's going to 4,000. Maybe tomorrow 3,500. It could be up any number tomorrow if the earnings are as strong as I think.
Yeah.
Walmart. I think tomorrow is going to be a turnaround day for the Dow, for the S&P, for Walmart, for Amazon. Very optimistic about tomorrow.
Yeah, this looks similarly promising. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what it did here. I like this curved bottom. It put in a nice curved bottom.
Yeah.
Well, halfway to the top, fell back. You know, I mean, it almost looks like a cup and handle.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. You could argue it is a cup.
Really handle it very well.
No, I mean you could still argue it. In any event, it's still a bullish chart, no matter what you call it.
Think so?
I do.
Even with that those last little down blips.
Well, we don't like days that end with a doji, basically, with a big upper shadow. We don't love that, but it's not a big upper shadow, and it's just pulling back to support. So let's say it pulls back a little bit more, just a little bit more to the 50. It doesn't have to. Didn't pull back that far earlier, just above the 50. I like where it is now for a bounce back tomorrow, along with Amazon and Apple. I think tomorrow will be a better day than today.
Got to get back to like 146, 147. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's eventually, going to take out 150, and probably that eventually will be sometime during Q1.
Yeah.
All right. Will it outpace Amazon and Apple? And no.
No.
It's a dividend. It pays a yield of 1.5% or something, and it's a steady performer. I think it looks good, and it's got it's the only company I think that could possibly rival Amazon down the road. So it's a good short-term play, a good long-term play. I like it a lot, along with FedEx, which is a long shot. Cytx Pharmaceuticals. Don't ask me what they do. I own too many pharmaceuticals. But I just bought this one. I should know what it does because I read about it. I know they're one of about 1,000 little biotechs in the odds race. So they're just starting the odds race. Their main drug is due for review at the end of the year, I believe. Whatever it is, honestly can't remember anymore. I think they're talking about potential sales of 500 million a year on whatever that drug is. I hate to be so vague as to the technical fundamentals, but I'm in so many, and I didn't really get a chance to truly study the fundamentals. I just bought it because of the action, decision by the end of the year. It looks like it's at or near support here. So I said, what the hell, I'll give it a shot.
Does it have a PDUFA in Q4?
I think so. I'm not sure the fundamentals, but Q4 sounds about right. And I paid $1. It's $1. I'm exactly even so far. I hope to make money down the road on this one. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the stock that you know, on the chart looks like it's at or near support. And if you, with a break of, if it actually goes below 90 cents, I'd probably get out. Take a 10% loss.
Okay.
It's more of a swing trade, but a swing trade with an undefined top. I won't get out of this until the RSI hits 80 or news comes, beta, whatever it is.
Still looks like one of your usual nibblers.
What is it?
I said it looks right now. The chart looks like one of your typical nibblers.
Nibblers, yeah.
I'll probably chew it up and spit it out soon, but it's a nibbler.
Yep. Here we go.
bcrx is one that I keep accumulating.
Right.
Here's one of the favorites of everyone on this chat.
Yeah. Of course, it's doing a whole lot of nothing.
You're right. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, I think the 50 is about to kiss the 200. It's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah. Let's see if I can blow that up a little bit.
But yeah, so a little bit on the fundamentals. I think I talked about it last week. We have a tomorrow night, actually, because Japan is what, like 15 hours ahead of us. We got the review for, it's basically the Japanese version of AdCom for Orladeo, or Barrow for those who know it as that. So that's the one that we have a PDUFA for December 3rd with the FDA, and Japan one is first, and it could be telling somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of money, it probably doesn't amount to much money, even if it's true. But it could be a
good news. It's going to be
an omen of success.
Right.
So
I mean,
we want to see a positive result out of Japan.
Yeah. But I think, Dr. J, I think you're right that Galley is really the thing that we got to wait for. I mean, the PDUFA stuff is known. Barrow is known. Galley is the ultimate, just could happen tomorrow. It could happen in a week. It could happen in 3 weeks. That's
and
the...
Also, remdesivir being approved as a legitimate drug by the FDA is a
that
good
should help.
thing.
That should help.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Because the mechanism of action is similar, and I think it'll be easy to show down the road that Galley is more effective.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it does open up the space anyway, the antiviral space.
Absolutely.
So just like some of the other biotechs, we've been witnessing a little bit of a nice little run, at least, but today it slipped below whatever trend line it was setting. But so did the rest of the market, so I'm not going to get hysterical over this.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing about 22% of the float is short here. And it's been around that level for a few months now.
That's only good. We want short the fodder.
Yeah. Yep.
So we are breaking clearly below this new trend line. So we might come down and challenge the low right here of 346. So, and if there's further market weakness in particular, I expect that 340 level to be looked at once we revisit it, let's say.
Yeah, we'll see if this Japan thing is a classic sell the news, or I guess we'll know in a few days.
A yawn.
Good point.
Yeah.
A yawn. I don't think it will be a sell the news because it's not gone up on that news. It's nothing to sell. It was never bought.
Yeah, I guess when I mean sell, I'm talking something in the 15 to 20 cent range. Nothing huge. Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's what I mean. I agree. A yawn.
Yeah.
That's what I call a yawn.
Indeed. You're right. You're right.
So I think bcrx, until we hear from the FDA, not the PMDA, we're going to have a bit of a dormant action. It's gonna
Yeah, we
let-
got an earnings call November 5th too. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but that's another potential catalyst where they could drop something that we don't expect.
Usually not.
Yeah.
It's how that gets,
Seldom do the earnings calls move these biotechs.
Do you think there's any chance they would slip some galley stuff in there? I mean, I guess we don't know.
Probably zero.
Okay. Okay.
If there's any galley stuff to be slipped in, it'll be before the earnings.
well,
Okay.
we were actually hoping that some of our politicians would have slipped the news for us.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. They had plenty of opportunities over the last month.
Yeah.
But galley is not on Donald Trump's tongue.
We're to understand that
Not on the tip of his tongue.
Fauci knows about it.
Who?
I said we're left to understand that Fauci knows about it.
Oh, absolutely. He knows. Yeah.
He knows about everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with all the work that's been going on in Brazil for this thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a bit of a disappointment. And I was anticipating that would be some October surprise news, but it sounds like Regeneron took that place.
All right. So it turns out these antibody drugs, the what do you call them? Monoclonal.
Yeah, monoclonal.
They seem to be required. It's required to take them almost immediately in order to be effective. It's got to take it within the first day or two, and that's not good.
Well, you're talking about Regeneron for Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, he took
The
it
whole idea was
right away.
I would have thought that was a little on the early side. I mean, the whole idea was that it clicks onto these cells that are causing trouble. But if you're early in the game, there aren't any cells out there to.
Then why did Lilly say that their drug is effective only if taken almost immediately? That was a statement by Lilly.
Is Lilly's drug an AB an antibody?
Yeah, it's a monoclonal antibody. Same bullshit.
We'll have to take a look.
They made a statement that it's got to be taken almost within a day or two.
Yeah.
Of symptoms. I'm pretty sure, 90% sure. Said that.
Disappointing news, because if you think about it, how far along do you have to be? It's like being only 1 month pregnant. At some level, you really don't know that you have it if you're a regular person until you're that much further along.
Or maybe they mean as soon as there's symptoms. I don't know what they mean.
Okay, well, that'll be a little bit better.
I didn't read about it. I just heard about it.
Yeah, no, it definitely be, because my understanding was that was one of the things that gets rid of the viral load. Because
VBI has been a very consistent performer, consistently down. That is. It's got a beautiful, one of the nicest, beautiful trend lines down that I've ever seen.
It keeps kissing that 200 SMA. Yeah, I mean, this one, I just preach patience. I really think that the fundamentals look great. Like I'd said, I think a couple of these ago, we have that partnership that's going to be announced for that.
The secret partner. The secret partner.
Secret partner. They're holding out on us.
Double secret.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So for that Hep B partnership, I was reading more. They actually did a phase 4 trial for that, which I don't think is very common. But the data's look pretty good so far overall, and I think generally people that I've talked to a bit and the research I've done has shown that.
How much is Hep B worth to the company if approved?
I think I've seen something in the range of 1.5 to 2 billion. I don't know for sure. I think there's potential it could be 2.5. There's other things in the
How
pipeline
much,
too.
how much a year would they gain in revenues from it?
I think something in the 500 million range. I'd have to check. I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head.
So
Um,
maybe sales of 500 million a year, the estimated worth of that drug a couple of billion.
yep, yep.
Sounds
And then
about
with yeah, and then they have a Hep B therapeutic where we're waiting on the phase 2 data to come out too. That'll
I
impact.
thought maybe I'm crazy, but I thought Celgene had a Hep B drug way back. Not way back, but years.
So they do. It's just what VBI is doing is they're working towards a functional cure. There's a lot of therapies and a lot of things out there, but the combination of everything VBI is doing, that's their goal. They're working on that functional cure, and they bought that Israeli company CyBvac a couple of years ago, and that's the one that's approved in Israel, and they've basically been working on trying to get that to the U.S. market the entire time.
They're developing a vaccine to prevent it, but if you get it anyway, they can cure it.
That's what they're trying to do.
One-stop shopping. You got the vaccine to prevent it, but if you get it anyway, we'll cure you.
Exactly. And then obviously that COVID vaccine thing, like I said, I don't think you should be here for that, but Canadian government's still funding it, and it's in the pipeline. We've seen a lot of these vaccine trials halted, and it's anyone's guess as to which vaccine is going to end up being the best one at the end of the day.
You don't know what's going to happen with the vaccines. They might kill us, they might cure us, they might be ineffective, they might do nothing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, they might work.
But yeah, I think this partnership announcement is going to be announced in the next month or two based on some of the hints management has given. We'll see. And
the partnership announcement would mean some kind of royalty deal, you think?
I mean, it could mean a buyout. It's possible. Could be a partnership to buy out. It could be a partnership to help the manufacturing of the CyBvac. It's unclear. They've been very coy about this whole thing.
How's that cash on hand?
Say that again?
How's that cash on hand?
They don't need to raise for quite a while. I think they're good until the end of mid to end 2022. I need to look up the exact number in terms of cash on hand.
So you don't expect that they need to go to the marketplace. So
I would guess a raise is very unlikely.
Okay, that's good news. Let's move on to AE. Well, first, before we do AEMD, let's do ATHX. ATHX, I added at 157, 158. I now bought all my shares back that I sold in 170. I don't know if you guys remember, but somebody asked me, why the hell are you selling in the 170s for? I said, so I could buy back in the 150s. That was my answer. And I finally completed buying back what I sold off. So now I'm back to a pretty decent sized position again. The question is, if it breaks at 156, which it came close to, then that'll put me to the test, whether I reduce some more or hold. My inclination is a clean break of 156, and I sell half, looking for much lower entry. But I think it holds. I bought more today thinking it'll hold. So far, so good. And there's really nothing new to add about fundamentals. We've been over it a million times.
Right.
So I don't see the need. To me, it's all about ischemic stroke. You can talk odds, you can talk COVID odds, you can talk trauma, you can talk whatever you want to talk. To me, it's all about ischemic stroke. So that's my perspective on the company.
They don't have earnings coming anytime soon, do they?
It doesn't matter. It never goes up on earnings.
That's a good
Probably
point.
down. And you never look. I never look forward to earnings on biotech.
The earnings are in 12 days for athx.
Now this one, they're just fooling around, having a good time.
Yeah, right.
Day traders, swing traders.
Your channel trading.
Yeah, this is just it's a good time stock. In the meantime, in between time.
Uh-huh. Yep, and we got fun.
Yeah, exactly. So this is if you got nothing better to do, you take a few bucks and you short it, or you go long and have a little fun. It's good for a pop. It's good for a sell-off.
Right.
So I'm convinced it's all meaningless until the data is officially announced. I mean, I don't know that they're going to tell us when we're in data lock either.
Especially if it's bad news.
I mean, at least NWBO was kind enough to say we're now in data lock, which might mean it's just 2, 3, 4 weeks and we're done.
Yeah.
This one,
I've seen pregnancies last longer.
yeah, this one is going on 6, 7 months from the time of the last event.
Yeah.
And we still don't know if we're in data lock. And it's anybody's guess. Because I believe the CEO said he doesn't have to say legally, and he doesn't plan on saying.
Right.
That was the last I heard.
He did send out a note every now and then to keep us interested.
I mean, that was last I heard. Maybe things have changed. Maybe he decided he would say when they're in data lock. I don't know. It's not that terribly important to me because I'm not going anywhere.
Right. You just have you been playing the channel at all?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just sitting it out.
You know, I bailed at 13 on that report. I bailed some at 13 at that report. I think I'm going to buy some back now.
Yeah, I mean you can do that because why not?
Exactly. You know, I mean, but it looks like it may very well get closer to that line that you have set.
On Friday, Jake remarked that he's not going to touch it for swing trades because he doesn't want to get caught when data actually does come out.
You mean right? But you know, meanwhile, if you sell at 15 to 16, you're still going to make a little bit of profit. Now you don't sell all of it.
No, but he's saying he doesn't want to swing it short or long because he doesn't want to gamble on the data.
Yeah, because if you buy at this line here and then the news is bad, you can be. I'm not worried about that.
In other words, if he thinks it's due for a sell-off, he's not going to play it short because what if the data comes in good? If he thinks it's due for a pop, he's still not going to go for it. Because what if the data comes in?
Well, that's predicated on the news happening any minute. But I think we've learned that we can easily wait until well after the election.
On the other hand, it could happen any minute. On the other hand, it could happen tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. If it happens tomorrow, I'll be very surprised.
I'll be very happy just to get it over with.
I'll be happy, especially if the news is good.
I don't even care. I just can't stand it already. Good or bad, let it happen.
Right.
I will accept,
waiting is
I will accept my fate.
Waiting is the hardest part.
Yes. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like the peripatetic husband waiting for the baby to be born.
Right. Based on what we have here in terms of requests, since it looks like you're at last one, you could look at cytx.
And AMD.
Or AMD or APT. Those are the three that appear to be of interest.
Yeah. Well, AMD dipped below the 50 today. And if there's no news of the consequence, which I expect there won't be, it could easily test the 130 area. It's already 138. So I'm looking at 130 as a near-term bottom. What's the other one?
Well, actually, Cabinet Guy asked for AVLR, which is a new one,
ADLR.
the new one to me. Avalera.
I think we did chart it once,
Did we?
probably. I think because Cabinet Boy asked it. Cabinet Guy, not Boy.
Yeah, and so I mean, now that we've been talking about it, we've been getting a couple of requests.
ADLR?
AV, as in
Oh,
vector analysis.
gotcha.
VLR.
AV.
Avalar is the name of the company.
LR. I'm sure we looked at this before.
Avalera, sorry.
Yeah, we must have. We must have. Oh, it topped very nicely.
Yep. Earnings in 8 days.
It had a beautiful run. Did I talk about this in the past tense?
Sales tax cloud service. Really? All right.
It had a beautiful run.
It's actually good business to be in.
It's had successive higher highs. And it's due for probably, I don't see this trend breaking. I would like to see any big pullback. I would like to see this hold. It's 142.33. So I would like to see, let's say, 142 area hold if it continues to pull back. But this looks like a nice stock to be in.
Would you wait on a pullback or would you grab at this point?
You mean if I don't have any position in it?
Exactly.
I'd probably look for a little bit more. Considering the market has been weak, I'd probably look to get it a little cheaper. Well, maybe I start averaging in.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if they do have blowout earnings, because it is, as Cabinet Guy says, it's a good business to be in when you're doing COVID. So if it has surprising earnings in 8 days, then you might not have a lot of opportunity.
And then I would probably average in if I didn't have a position.
You would nibble, in other words.
Average, nibble a little here and keep nibbling.
Nibble, nibble, nibble. All right.
Yeah, then if I don't like what happens, if it breaks below 143, I might spit it all out.
Right. Yeah, no, that would be pretty big drop. But it seems to me that in 8 days, you're not going to hit that line again, unless there's something really drastic.
I don't know. The market could be pretty drastic.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The market throws out everything. It throws out the baby with the bathwater, right?
Yep. All right. How about CODX? And then actually, we got our gang wants Meso and Mankind.
Well, CODX, and if there's a Biden victory, should do well. I think testing on the Biden-Harris.
Right, but it's been hanging out in the doldrums with all those lines.
Well, the question is, will they be one of the testing companies to benefit?
Right.
That's and do they are they in the quick test market at all?
Right now, they're in such a buy-it in a typical vertical trading range that it looks like a nice swing opportunity whenever you get it. But it doesn't look like it's breaking out from the top or the bottom. What are the numbers?
Plenty of time.
In other words, it looks like a swing trade opportunity. 15 to 12, something like that, 12 to 15.
Yeah.
That's the main trading range, and then it goes a little above, a little below. But 12 to 15 is the main trading range. It's been that way, it looks like a couple of months. So, I'm not predicting anything.
He said he's already been.
I'm not predicting anything different than more of the same.
Well,
even if there's a Biden-Harris victory on Tuesday, I still think it'll be a while before they take office and before they start talking about testing companies.
Right.
So in anticipation, after the election, if Biden wins, maybe you get a little pop. Not a huge pop, but a little pop.
Right. Because our current administration believes that the more testing you do,
Yep,
The more testing, the worse we look.
exactly. It's all optics.
Yeah, it's the worse we look. So we covered a lot of stuff today, right?
and I have to bail in a couple minutes anyway.
All right, so I
We have
think,
a couple more
is
requests.
there anybody that we didn't cover?
Well, we had somebody asking about. I asked about APT. Somebody asked about Meso, and somebody else asked about Mankind. So we might be able to fit one more.
All right, I'll just do Meso. Meso and maybe Mankind. Yours don't count. You're not a privileged character.
As we used
APT looks good today, by the way.
to the bad news.
All right, so Meso hasn't recovered since that big sell-off when it was turned down on host versus graph.
Right, and I haven't heard anything about their appeal one way or the other.
And in fact, has broken below trend. So it looks like a very sick doggy. Very sick puppy. I'm still holding my shares. I have no idea why.
So am I.
But the chart is pretty awful.
Because hope springs eternal.
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is, you're looking at $8 as being quite likely at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took out this low, right? 1027 is out.
Trend line from the last.
Wait a second. I want to see if 1027 was taken out. Yeah, 1022 today. This is a very troubled stock. The funny thing is, it's got enormous potential. It's got the same potential athx has, maybe even more. They're talking heart failure, which is really nothing good for it. And athx is talking ischemic stroke. So two very interesting companies, fundamentals. Both are, this one looks sicker than athx right now.
Doesn't it? Even though you thought this guy is the winner for the odds race.
Well, what can I tell you?
I know. Well,
sick.
Sounds like that odds race isn't much of a race anymore.
Everybody's in it.
There's odds these days with respect to COVID.
Well, odds is big. It's always been big. It's always been a killer. It's always been a horrible disease. There's always been money to be made. But no company could ever come up with a drug that worked. So whether it's COVID odds or any other kind of odds, lots of rough getting it to work. Now, maybe one of these stem cell companies will work, but maybe they won't. Maybe there's about 20 of them in there right now, and who knows if any of them will be successful.
It's a green stem cells is just still a green apple.
Yes, there's not really been one drug approved other than a spinal cord drug.
And even there, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gotten anybody walking yet.
No, stem cells are the new frontier, but right now it's still the frontier. All right, what's the other one? Have I got time for one more?
You want to do? Did you want to do APT or did you want to do Mankind?
All right, APT. APT is up today. Mask play.
Right, because it's going to give earnings very, very soon, and it's a mask play, and we know that the earnings typically it's a question of how it's going to react to the earnings.
Yeah.
We got good earnings. You see that drop? That was the last time we got good earnings.
In order to get me really interested, it's got to take out the 100. And that would be at 1606. So it's got to break 16 level before I start salivating.
So earnings might come and go, and this thing might just still stay where it is.
Not where it is. I think this time it's not going to sell. Yeah, stay where it is, up to 16 maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, it's a little disappointing because this one looked like it could have had some legs.
To me, it should have been up last time after earnings and it collapsed. So I can't figure this one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was like great earnings, great news. Can you keep it
I
up?
want to see it in the charts. I want to see better than 16 in the charts, then I'll play it.
I got you.
I give up on the fundamentals.
The technicals aren't there.
I can't figure out the fundamentals on this one.
No, the fundamentals are fine. The technicals are.
Well, the technicals are fine too. They're telling you you got to wait for 16. Breaker 16.
Gotcha.
And then buy. It's a Momo play, but it's got to get the Momo. It's got to break the 100.
Right. All right. Well,
Pete
another thing that's probably not gonna happen.
Oh, Pete, you didn't tell me it was Pete. Pete gets it.
Oh, for Mankind.
Yeah, Pete gets it.
Oh, Pete got he got his other thing that he asked for before.
Well, Pete, Pete is Pete.
Pete's a nice guy. You can't give him everything, then he won't come back.
Pete likes you. He liked your show, so you got to give him what he wants. So Mankind, of course, is the insulin, a freezer, and they are up today on a down day, up a penny. Big sign.
Came off its support there.
Very bad sign that it broke the 9-day and didn't break the trend line though. It's still got a piece of it, right?
All right.
Looks like it.
Jiggly's funny.
So we have a nice piece of it. In fact, we're trading above the trend line right now.
Yeah, well, let's hope that line is the right line. But
I like Mankind from the charts.
I usually trust your lines, Dr. J, so I'm not going to argue with you.
No, I like Mankind from the charts. It's not a phony baloney line. It's a legitimate line.
Okay.
I got him. Look, I didn't cheat. I'm using the lower the day, the lower the day. I got 3 hits. 3 hits make a trend line.
Okay.
In my case, sometimes 2.5 make a trend line.
Right, 2.5 does. Right, exactly.
And even this one is the body is above it.
Point does it.
The trend is up, my friend, for Mankind. It has to take out. It has to take out 250.
I'm still in this from last time.
I like Mankind. I think the trend is clearly up. The direction is up. So I would hold it. I mean, will it sell off with a big sell-off in the market? Yes. I like the stock. I even like the fundamentals.
All right.
Why do I like the fundamentals? Because there's a niche.
Yes.
There's a niche use for it. You go to a restaurant, and you need to take your lunchtime insulin.
Right.
And it's much easier to sniff it in than to go to the men's room and take an injection, right? And much easier and less upsetting mentally. And it works better than the injection. So I kind of like it. Shalom to you, magnificent answer. Maybe that's a great way to end the show. Shalom, peace to everyone.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Take care, Arjun. Good seeing you.
Thanks all for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.